I lived in Imperial County, which has only 20% of the population of the district. And the larger county, Riverside, has 80% of the population. And to be frank with you, I did not know more than 12 persons in the Riverside County when I became a candidate. But it was simply amazing how scores of American men and women came over to help me by giving of their time and money. I had a very difficult campaign, but with the help of my American friends and with the astonishment of everybody, I was elected to the Congress of the United States.
Judge Saund, that story is no more intriguing or fascinating or amazing than is your life itself. You told me several days ago about the early days when you were living with your parents in northern India, that your mother and father, neither one of them could write or read. How did it happen that with that background you became a distinguished scholar and graduate of the University of Punjab in India, and then subsequently, and tell us why? What moved you to come to the United States and settle in California?
Senator, my father and mother could not read or write. But when my parents made money, it was their first ambition to give their children the benefits of higher education. I benefited from that. I was a junior in college in 1917 and 18 when the United States joined the Allies in the First World War. That was the first time when Wilson's speeches were printed in Indian newspapers. I was simply fascinated by the beautiful slogans of Woodrow Wilson: to make the world safe for democracy, war to end war, self-determination for all peoples. And through Woodrow Wilson, I became acquainted with another great American war president, Abraham Lincoln. I made an overnight trip to the University Suite of Punjab to obtain 2 books on Abe Lincoln. I read the life story of that man and studied his writings. And then I made up my mind that I must go to the country which Abe Lincoln and Woodrow Wilson and others had made so great. I defied the wishes of my parents, but they were very kind to accede to my desires, and I came over for higher study to the University of California.
What did you have in mind to study when you first entered, Judge Saund, the University of California?
I came here to study fruit canning with the desire to go back to India and start a canning factory to can mangoes. But later on, I decided to go into my favorite and beloved subject of mathematics, and I had my PhD in mathematics in 1944.
But you were a doctor of mathematics, though you did not exercise that skill and that talent as a profession, because in those days, 30-odd years ago, as a non-citizen, you could not make a living by teaching. Is that correct?
No, I could not.
Judge Saund, as you have recited to us 2 of your great heroes, Abraham Lincoln and Woodrow Wilson, I know that you began with one hero in India even before you knew anything about these 2 very distinguished Americans, both of which have left great big footprints in the sands of time. Will you tell us who that other hero was and what appealed to you about him?
Well, that other hero, the father of India and that great man of all times, was Mahatma Gandhi. I came under the spell of Mahatma Gandhi when he appeared on the stage of Indian political life and offered to the people of India a new method of passive resistance to win their political freedom and also to solve their great social problems like the untouchability. Mahatma Gandhi was an inspiration not only to me but millions of people in India and all over the world. One time Mahatma Gandhi was asked by an English missionary, my American friends would like to hear. Say, Mr. Gandhi, where did you get the inspiration of this movement of passive resistance. And without any hesitation, he answered by reading the Sermon on the Mount. He was the man who really tried to live